Alex Jones reporting from the road with Aaron Dykes and Rob Jacobson, as well as Richard Reeves. We're going to Bilderberg 2012, and there are incredible things happening. Here's an Infowars.com story, and right here we have links to the Hill newspaper, you name it. UN creates new, more powerful global environmental agency, but that's nothing compared to this. House considers handing over internet regulation to the UN. That means the eugenicist bankster. Show us the next article there, Rob, please. This is a story out of the Hill today, over at the Hill. And in the article out of the Hill, House to examine plan for United Nations to regulate the internet. So there it is, the handover of U.S. sovereignty. The UN saying Obama can go to war. Congress says no. He says go to hell. I have the UN. Bring up the Drudge Report. The Drudge Report, though, is actually covering the real culprits, and that's what we're traveling to cover it. RT has an article over here on the right-hand side breaking down the fact Bilderberger's group set to meet in USA. Of course, we broke this first a month ago. We're on our way there to cover it, but the fact is this is now being discussed. And we're going to talk about how most of the people at Bilderberg this year are the technocracy. The head of Facebook saying his users are a bunch of dumb effers. And a $100 billion international stock offering, initial stock offering, is a big overpriced scam run by the CIA. Google grabs secrets of private lives, emails, texts, photos, documents taken from Wi-Fi networks, deliberately stole information but covered it up. It's all come out in Europe and the U.S. that they're an NSA front that hacks your computer and steals your data, and now they've got the U.S. Post Office coming out saying it's going to do it. Aaron Dykes, Bilderberg's big hope is this technocracy, but to be a government front, Google and others had to operate as if they were private citizens. This is a big year. Tell us about what you've been working on right there.
Yeah, if you've wondered about the future of the fascist control of the web, this is it. Fascist, of course, just means government merged with corporations working together for mutual interests. I've been reading this from Cybercom Commander General Keith Alexander only a little over a month ago, a very fresh statement.
We've got a globalist right there, Drew.
Yeah. Now, Keith Alexander was already head of the NSA. They gave him a new title, bumped him up to general, put him in head of Cybercom. He talks in this document about how Cybercom is really the entire intelligence community working together with the private agencies. Here he says right here, foundational to the Cybercom mission is that information sharing must go on between the federal government and the private sector and within the private sector while ensuring the protection of civil liberties, bunch of BS, and goes on to say we welcome and support the new statutory authorities for Department of Homeland Security that will ensure that this information sharing takes place. And indeed, they oversaw...
They're even saying they're going to pass our tax returns around to whoever wants them.
Yeah, and Homeland Security wrote a whole new document
Medical records.
Blueprint for a Cyber Secure Future with, of course, U.S. Cybercom. They're definitely clamping down on the web. It's literally fascist as government merges with these big tech industries, and you really couldn't tell them apart if they didn't have name labels on them as to where the NSA ends, where Google begins, and the same with the other big companies.
And all this stuff we talked about years ago is now just all coming right out in the open. It's amazing.
It absolutely is, and there's a big reason all these important figures meet annually at Bilderberg, and they have been. We've been tracking it, and we're unfolding that agenda. Just one small piece of it is how they want a mandatory internet ID. That broke a week ago right there at Infowars.com from the Bilderberger inside the EU Commission.
We're about to upload our video on this weird media distraction about the cannibals. We've seen the footage of it. Doesn't show any of what they said. But we should just believe known liars, Aaron. We should just believe a system that lies continually.
That's the way it works, yeah.
You're a conspiracy theorist if you don't believe known congenital liars. Jacobson, what do you say to that?
I think, I I totally agree. You are a total conspiracy theorist unless you agree with and go along with everything the authority says. I mean... They are right all the time.
We should believe them. I mean, so Google said they weren't spying illegally, but now they admit it. But, I mean, that's all right. I mean, Panetta likes us.
Yeah, Panetta, these people are...
I mean, Bilderberg didn't exist, but now it's in Salon and in all these other big publications admit they're running things. Washington Post, things like Politico, but we're bad because we first broke it, though. We don't get any credit, though.
Right. Because you don't operate out of a 80-story glass building and float around with royalty all day. So why should we believe you? And they're a bunch of they could say whatever they want, and we should just believe everything they say.
I agree with you. I was just trying to publish the video and actually hit the wrong button. It doesn't matter, though. Google cares about us. I mean, they're good people. I mean, Zuckerberg said we're dumb effers over at Facebook. And, of course, Aaron, you said a week before it happened it was going to be a pump and dump. But, they did pump and dump. But still, you're wrong because you were right.
Right.
Hey, I'm just glad they imprisoned Martha Stewart for no reason.
Well, I'm also wondering if there could be some kind of cyber false flag, since the first major tactical exercise by the Cybercom was called Cyber Flag. That's also in this document.
No, they wouldn't do that with a half awake.
Anonymous and LulzSec and all of it.
Oh, no. It turned out they were feds, but it's all right. I mean, they're running Al-Qaeda in Afghanistan, Libya. They're still good people. I mean,
yeah, but Al-Qaeda's not going to attack us when we're handing over the whole Middle East power authority to them.
But we should give our rights up because Al-Qaeda might strike. They're so scary.
We should airlift Al-Qaeda from Libya to Syria.
We should.
Well, I mean, because they're fighting Al-Qaeda. I mean,
well, we should airlift the Bin Laden family from the U.S. back home.
And shut down all other air traffic.
Yeah.
As they did that,
of course,
for 3 days. You shouldn't question or be informed. You're a conspiracy theorist. All right, we're off to Bilderberg, which didn't exist, but they now admit does.
Yes.
But we're still bad. All right, Alex Jones signing off for Infowars.com. We'll see you out there, Lord willing.